This video this video is gonna show you how to blur any video or text content in a video or text using Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2018 version. So the first thing we do is to open Adobe Premiere Pro CC, the 2018 version. Alright, so once it opens, you're gonna see this window. Click on New Project. A new window is gonna open up and you would title your project, in this case Blur Video 1. So after you've given it a title, the next thing is to designate where the project file should live. So I will click on Browse and I would find a folder where I do want to save this project. Select that folder, click on Choose, and you should confirm here that your project destination has been set. Click OK. Once you click OK, you will be on this page. Now, because I was already in Premiere, I was in a different area. You do want to ensure that you are in the editing mode once you open a new project or create a new project. You want to be in edit mode. The edit mode is going to give you the option to import media into this area. You basically have other blocks here, and you will see what each area does. The timeline, which is this area, is where we actually do the editing of the video or the file that we bring in. So let's bring in a file. So you go back to this import area. The quick way for me to bring a file is to right click. You right click and you choose import. Then you're going to find the video file or the text file that you want to import into this project. So this is my file. I select it. I click on import. Now you can see that the video file has been imported into this project. We're ready to begin editing, essentially. So what we do is we drag this file, so click on it and drag it over to this area. This is the timeline. Drag it over to the timeline. You can see that video is titled, the title of the video you uploaded is here. You see this area called V1. This is essentially the row where the original video is. The reason I mention this is because we will be making a copy of this and it will be going to V2. Up here is a preview of the video that I just uploaded. Alright, so the next thing is to hold down the Alt key. Hold the Alt key on your keyboard. On Mac, it is the Option key. So hold it down, click on that video, and then drag it up one step. So now I have V1 and I have V2. So V2 is the version that we will edit. Just notice that when you are in the current video, the one that you click on is going to be highlighted in a different hue than blue. So that tells you blue is the inactive one and the other hue is the one you're into. So make sure you are in the video on V2. Alright, so the next thing I do is to click on the effects tab up here. Alright, so effects tab enables this section. This is where I get to apply or adjust some of the settings in the effects that I choose. So before we do this part, let's go over here and keyword search for a particular blur effect. It's called Gaussian blur. So it's spelled Gaussian blur. So you type that in and it's right over here. So I find it and then I will click and drag it and layer it on top of the video in V2. Okay, so you search, find Gaussian blur, drag and drop it and layer it on top of the video in V2. Now, how would you know that the blur has been effectively dragged over the video? You would see over here Gaussian blur. That tells you that you were successful in dragging it from this area over onto the video. So let's apply some settings at this point. You have options on the kind of mask you want over the video. So if you want an ellipse or you want a polygon, the last option is a free draw. That's a bit cookie, so I'm gonna stay away from that. Let me do the ellipse. So I click on it, and once you click on it, it's going to actually apply that over the preview area. I'm just going to drag it and position it over the portion of the video that I do want to blur. Next, you want to resize it. Alright, once you've perfectly sized it up and perfectly placed it over where you want it, then you do want to adjust the blurriness. Okay, so right now you can see that there's no blur effect that you can essentially discern from what you have. So we adjust the blurriness. You can adjust it to any number that you want. I'm comfortable with 75, so I type in 75, replacing the zeros, and as you can see, the blur is now in effect. The next thing you want to do, as you can see, there are still edges around there, so you can check the box to repeat edge pixels. That will essentially cover up any edges that were left over. So in this case, my blur needs to be a bit resized. So I click back on the mask. So just notice the number 1 on the mask. That tells me that I only have one mask in effect right now. You can add as many masks as you would choose, simply by going to the mask and choosing the ellipse or the polygon. So let me resize this one real quick and I will add another mask. So click on the mask and then you have the option to resize it a bit more, just to cover the entire area. Alright, so next I do want to add another mask. I still have a video down here that I do want to blur, so I will add a second mask. Click on that and then drag and position the mask. You can resize it before you drag it, but I just prefer positioning it first before actually resizing. So resize it as you want. and just notice that because you had already set the blurriness the first time in the first mask, it will carry over to any subsequent masks that you add. So you don't need to repeat any of that. You can see that 75. That's basically total effect for the two masks that you have right now. So the blur effect is almost done. The next thing you want to do, especially if the video, the image that is being blurred appears in several portions of the video, you have two options. You can go back to the mask, right? So this is for mask number 1. You can go back there, and then you see the option here. This tracks the selected mask forward. What that means is when you click on that, it's going to play the video, moving the mask together with the image in tandem. If you choose the opposite, which goes backward, it's going to do the reverse. Let me give you an example. So the mask is still positioned. I click on track forward. It's going to process, and it will start playing the video. And if you notice, you will see that there's movement in the video. And with the movement, if my head is moving at the same time, the mask is going to also move. Pay attention to the two masks and notice the movement. Also notice that this track forward is also in effect. When you get to the point where you've essentially covered every area, you can stop the track forward at that point. The other way you can also do this is to use the scrub timeline and adjust, excuse the noise, adjust the position of the video just to make sure that the areas that need blurring in the video have already been accounted for. Once you do that, you've essentially completed what you need, and the next thing is to go to the file menu. You want to go to export and click on media. This will prepare your file for export so that you can use it somewhere else. So you don't actually need to change anything here. You can just click on export at this point, and it will export this file. Thank you.